Hello, my name is Ernest and today I'd like to discuss with you the OLS class, Managing Transitions. My favorite quote from the Managing Transitions textbook is, "It's not the change, it's the transition." Today I'm going to discuss with you some of the key phases in transitions that organizations go through, and I'll also share with you some personal experiences and give some feedback as to how I feel maybe the course could be improved in the future. The quote, "It's not the change, it's the transition," speaks to your viewpoint in the matter. When managing through transitions, oftentimes it's not that you're doing anything correctly or incorrectly, but that your viewpoint on the situation could be different to better improve people's experiences while they're going through an organizational change. So, what are these phases that everybody goes through when an organization is going through a transition? Transition, it basically has a beginning, a middle, and an end. In the beginning, you basically have losses and people that have to let go of what they're losing in order to proceed through the phases of transition. In the middle, you really have a sort of neutral zone where ideas are getting tested, fears are coming to reality, predictions are not turning out quite the way they're supposed to. And so you have the opportunity for a lot of conflict to arise, and the way you manage or deal with those transitions and people's feelings in the matter makes a big difference in how the organization will either successfully or unsuccessfully make it through the transition period. The ending phase of a transition is its closure phase. And whenever people are going through emotional issues or an organization is going through a transition, it's important that just as you realize that things have to be different and you have a new beginning and a new start, that you also have to recognize that ending so that people can put the past behind them and move on to continue with the organization's shared vision. So first, I'd like to talk a little bit more about letting go and people's losses. People could lose all kinds of things that may be important to them, but if not recognized by the leader as being important, could prove disaster. Everything from power to access to status to office windows may be important to somebody in an organization, and if that's something they're losing, they can hold some resentment. If these losses are not compensated for, or if people are not encouraged to see these losses differently, the individuals that are dealing with the loss will go through your typical stages of grief, depending on the severity of that loss. It's paramount that leaders first set the example of how to let go of what they've lost so that their followers can pick up on that and look towards those leaders for that example. If a leader says, "Hey, I gotta have my office, and I know this calls for some change, but I like my windows and I'm keeping it, but I'm going to make the rest of you go through this change, even though I don't have to," then that's going to carry forward and carry down the line, and other people are going to look at that, and that leader's going to lose credibility that he needs to get through the other phases of the transition. So, your second phase is your neutral zone. The neutral zone is where most of the work has to be done. In the first phase, the leaders really have to identify what people are losing. So in the second phase, that's when they can compensate or do what's necessary to help his followers overcome that sense of loss. First phase, there's a lot of hype. Marketing may come in. There may be excitement about something new, or a new toy that's going to be gotten, or something new that has to be learned, or a new product that's come out. But